What is up, you guys? The Pistons fell to the Chicago Bulls 94-88. Just here to give some thoughts. Actually, I was at the game, as y'all can see by the K Cunningham jersey. We all dripped out, but, he missed the game, so that was disappointing. But let's first just start talking about the positives. So, Sadiq Bey, just really versatile overall. I thought he just played such a more confident game than what we've seen in, like, previous seasons. The way he was doing more stuff than the 3-and-D. He made some passes. I think like back-to-back plays he had pick and rolls with Isaiah Stewart. He was hitting the mid-range. He was driving. He had a nice euro or like under scoop. It was just an impressive game by Sadiq Bey. And I thought at one point he was the best player out on the floor. And I think hopefully in the future we see more of that. I think in the fourth quarter they kind of held him back. We'll get into the fourth quarter, but he was kind of held back. He didn't do too much, and then he got in some foul trouble. He had like a clear path foul, which kind of took him out of the game. But he was actually probably the player that I was the most impressed with overall. And then another positive was obviously the team defense. Although we lost the game, they only scored 94 points, and Chicago's offense is kind of a mess. It's kind of just like Zach LaVine just doing ISO. By the way, Zach LaVine is just a phenomenal scorer. I think we learned that today, but our defense overall was quite impressive. We knew it was going to be a strong point for this team. I mean, you have Stewart. You have a lot of length on this team. That's what Troy Weaver prioritizes. So it was going to, even like players who I didn't think were like the best defenders, like Kelly Olynyk and Trey Lyles, they were also stepping up on defense. Although Trey Lyles, man, you gotta find a way to hold the ball. My man's would just run. He would just make a dribble move and then he would just turn the ball over. So that wasn't the best, which kind of gets into like the negatives. I thought, let's first start with the bench. The bench was supposed to be like the highlight. After the Spurs game, people were talking about the 3 C's, Kelly Olynyk, Trey Lyles, and Corey Joseph. But honestly, I felt like the starters kind of outplayed the bench in this game. I feel like the scoring on the bench is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of spontaneous to say the least. It's because you have Josh Jackson, Hamidou Diallo, and those players, Josh Jackson had some good moments. He had he had a 3, but in the end, with Josh Jackson, it's kind of hit or miss. He's either hot or cold, and that's kind of how his career's been. Hopefully that changes, but there was like a sequence with the bench where Chicago scored the ball, then they inbounded the ball and they threw it right back to Chicago, and Chicago scored again. It's just stuff like that, which is kind of frustrating to watch. And then you also have Hamidou Diallo, who's still not a finished product on the offensive end. He still can't really shoot the ball. He did have a couple nice and-ones and a couple nice drives, but I mean the scoring was just not as consistent. Kelly Olynyk, I wish would have taken into the post a little bit more. He did do his thing and he hit a 3, I want to say, but I wish he was more aggressive. I wish Trey Lyles would do something more than, I don't know what Trey Lyles does on the floor. He's supposed to be a spacer. I don't know why he's pump faking the ball. Let someone else do the pump fake, Trey Lyles. Just shoot the 3. You don't have to. I don't know why Trey Lyles is making plays like that. That was kind of frustrating. But the main one really was Killian Hayes. Even with the new hairdo, even though he got the braids, it's just the same old. Like, I don't think I've seen enough growth to think that like this guy can last in the league overall. He struggled in summer league, didn't show too much, and then I don't know. I honestly think he should maybe be sorry about my voice, I'm kind of sick, but I honestly think he should maybe be playing with the second unit. I think if he's with the bench players, it can probably increase his confidence, and he won't be like second guessing his decisions. You want him to be aggressive, and even when he is aggressive, you just can't score the ball. Like, he still can't shoot. He did make a 3. It was a travel, but that was like the first time I'd seen Killian make a shot. He played okay defense. He was passing the ball well, but just overall just timid. He makes one dribble move, and the next thing he's just passing it. He'll make a move, and I'm just like, go finish it. Shoot the ball or do something. But then he just passes it to Frank Jackson, and what Frank Jackson does. He just runs around the court, floaters and 3-pointers. But that was a little bit disappointing. Also, what was disappointing was in the fourth quarter, they didn't even play Killian, which I thought maybe he did look like he had some concussion. He was grabbing his head. He did come back into the game, so I don't know if that was it, but he wasn't playing. But really what was disappointing in the fourth quarter was just the offense just became Jeremy Grant ISO. And as much as I love Jeremy Grant, he's unfortunately, like, you can't win. You're not going to win many games if he's like your primary option. And they treated Jeremy Grant like he was like Kevin Durant or something. You know, I think he basically took every single shot within like 3 minutes. So like at the game, it was just so frustrating because, you know, we had players like Sadiq who was having a great game, no shots taken. Frank Jackson, no shots taken. It was just it was just Jeremy Grant taking all these shots, even though he was double teamed. It was just fadeaways, and it was just the offense wasn't there. It just became more like iso ball, and that's kind of why we lost the game. We were in this game and kind of shot ourselves out of it. I do hope though, with the addition of Cade, you know, you can have someone to take the pressure off Grant, and it makes sense why Grant's taking the ball because everyone else is too scared to do anything, and we only have Grant as like our primary scorer. So hopefully when Cade comes back, this team is like a little bit more balanced in their scoring attack, especially in the clutch. You know, that's what Cade is known for, and yeah, hopefully we get the dub. Overall, I was still impressed by the team. A lot of moral victories, you know, kind of similar to last season. But, I mean, they hung in tough with a team who is projected to go to the playoffs, probably like a 5 seed or 6 seed. The Bulls, they have some stuff to figure out, but they overall, I mean, they came together. They looked nice. So, I mean, yeah, the future's looking bright for the Pistons. They're going to play the Bulls next on Saturday. I don't know if we're going to get a win in this road trip, but, you know, again, it's all about the development. That's just what it's been with this young core. But, yeah, overall, we're just waiting for Cade's debut. And yeah, that's kind of all I have. I'll see y'all in the next video on Saturday when we take the Bulls. Peace.